What's going on, guys? Sir Tacos coming back at you with talk about Transformers. Today we're going to be looking at the War for Cybertron trilogy, Seige Red Alert. I got this figure from my brother. I believe this is the original. It's not the Netflix or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and take a look. He's got big old windscreen here. I believe it's very dark clear plastic, if I'm not mistaken. You've got the headlights, clear red plastic with white painted in the middle. Not headlights, roof lights, siren lights. Uh-oh, you're in trouble lights. The hood, you've got the Autobot symbol and kind of like a fire station looking symbol there with a couple of Cybertronian letters or symbols, what have you, with the red painted on the hood. Silver paint in those headlights. So you got that going on. A little bit of molded detail down here. That's part of the. That's not part of the torso for the robot. So this molded detail is kind of here just to give it a interesting look from the front. From the side, you've got this red painted stripe going down the side on all three of these parts. It's painted, so it matches pretty well. As far as the color goes, you've got the same red paint it looks on these wheels, star-shaped hubcap and all that. You got this black here with some white in the middle, and this block of black kind of looks out of place a little bit. They had painted the top of it, and then maybe painted a little white here, so that way it was just this stripe of black. That would look pretty cool, but then you get this and this in here kind of breaking up the white, and it looks a little awkward. But that's okay. Coming around to the back, you've got molded in tail lights and some details here. You got like the robot knees, but they just kind of look like more of whatever's going on back here. You've got, the little step down because it's supposed to be Lamborghini-esque. Then you've got random pockets where there's just no plastic, probably to save on cost. So you got waffle holes or what have you. His gun's pegged in on this side, so we'll take a look at that in a second. Areas from the bottom, you can see his shins, you can see his mouth, but it's pretty tidy under here, I'm not gonna lie. And then you've got his gun just pegged onto the side. There's a port on either side. There's also a port in the roof, but the lights are on that right now. So here's his gun. It's just molded in black plastic. You got blast effect compatible tip as per usual. You've got a port back here to attach other things to it. The molding looks good. There's not really that much hollow space to speak of. Some of these molded areas are kind of deep, but it doesn't look like it's just an obvious missing chunk. It looks like it's part of the gun's design, so I can dig it. And then, like I said, the light comes off, and we'll show more with that when we get to that. So we're going to go ahead and just put his accessory down and get into some size comparisons here. And then after size comparisons, we'll go ahead and transform him. Alrighty, there he is with the Rubik's Cube, with the Gore Magala statue, with the Volkswagen Beetle, with retro reissue Brainstorm, and with the Netflix version of Hound. Alrighty, size comparisons out of the way, let's go ahead and get them transformed. So first, we're going to open up these side panels. We're going to fold out his arm panels with them. And then we're going to fold open these shin panels too. Just flay the entire bottom of the car open. We'll take the back section of the car and rotate it out to become his legs. You can go ahead and spin him around and get his feeties out. That one's kind of stiff. And then shut the shin panels and rotate it at the waist. Back here, these will swing down when you bend his knees, or you can put them in there now. They kind of fill in the gap and you know, just they give him his knee. So split the legs because they did it when I bent the knee, and you've got his lower body pretty much done. We're gonna fold his arms up and out of the way so we can fold these flaps in, lift up this panel that's going to be his stomach, and fold it down, and there is going to be a slot and a tab here to peg it in. And then we'll just fold his wrists out and we'll straighten his arms, and there you have red alert in his robot mode. His head is molded red plastic with the silver painted face, blue painted eyes. You got the hood detail here acting as the chest. Looks like you've got red paint here in the abdominal area, just to give it some color, with black breeches, blue knee pads with a little bit of that scratch and scuff. These panels, I want to say that they are painted black because there's the tab and the tab is white, so that's what I thought. They just looked really glossy, so I didn't think they were molded black. They're painted black panels with blue paint, so there you go for that. The feet are painted silver, and you've got a couple of different, this is just molded to look like a port, and this is an actual port. So details on the feet. The arms got lots of molded detail, a couple of the blast bumps roaming around. You got a port on the lower end upper arm. Coming around to the back, you just got his windscreen on the back, and his legs clean up pretty tidily. Just the waffle holes and little step down window detail from the car there. You can remove the siren if you want, and since it is pegged in, you could realistically leave it there, or you could put it on his shoulder to give it some flair or something like that. What I like to do with his siren, since he's kind of like a little fire dude, is I'll actually take his gun and I will put the siren bar in it on this side, and then I'll have him hold it like it's a little pickaxe or something, so he can pull rubble apart and you know, get his way into a building to save people. So that's what I like to do with it. And then if I'm using it as a gun, I'll just rotate the light bar so it's just an accent on the gun now, and we can pop it in his hand. You could store it on the back, you could store it on his legs down here where those ports are, you could put it on his feet. So whatever you want to do with him there. As far as posing him, you've got a ball joint at the head. It is attached, it looks like in the torso, so it's a stem coming from the head. So you got tilts, you got a tiny bit up, you got a decent amount down, unless you've got like no down and all up. It just depends on how you're angling him, how that's going to play out. You've got a 360 rotation at his face, a 360 rotation at his shoulder, a 360 rotation at his bicep. His shoulders go up 90 degrees and his elbow goes 90 degrees. You've got a 360 at the waist. You have a thigh swivel, mushroom peg. It doesn't go this way that far because it'll start bumping, but you can get it out reasonably far. You've got forward at the hip, back at the hip, out at the hip, about 90 degrees at the knees, and then you can wiggle this for transformation basically, and it does tilt. It does tilt to a great degree, and when it's tilted, you could lift it up a little bit just to get kind of like a sliding pose, almost like he's sliding in or something. But there you have him in robot mode with his posability taken care of. So we'll go ahead and get him situated so that way he is ready for comparison, and I'm gonna have to zoom out for that. This whole thing so far has been zoomed in, so there we go. Now we're zoomed out back to our normal kind of, you know, setting. So we'll go ahead and get him with some size comparisons, and we'll jump into the final thoughts. Alrighty, there you got him with your Rubik's Cube, with our Gormagala statue, with Bumblebee movie Bumblebee, with the retro reissue Brainstorm figure, with the Seige Netflix, I believe this is the Netflix, but it's the Seige mold Hound. And last but not least, here he is with the KO MP44 Optimus Prime. Alrighty guys, and that about does it for the Seige Red Alert. I like this mold a lot. I know a lot of other people do too. I like the accessories it comes with, how you can kind of do what you want with the siren lights, so they're not just glued onto his back. You can put them in his hand like this axe thing. You could have it on his shoulder like a badge. You can move it around, and that's pretty cool, I think. I like the paint and the detail work throughout the figure. And I mean, he's got kind of a slab back here, and you can see it from the front and the sides, but it doesn't look terrible. And the red paint on the side of the car really does kind of line up with this red stripe that's going across his stomach, so that kind of pulls it together a little bit for me, which, is going to help me like it more. But, yeah, it's a pretty great deluxe. And that's about all I got to say. Next Monday's review is going to be the Netflix version of Siege Hound, and that's it. Go ahead and like the video if you liked it. Go ahead and comment if you've got any comments that you want. They could be suggestions. They could just be you telling me your favorite version of the mold, because it comes in 17 million flavors. Go ahead and do that. If you liked the video, go ahead and watch some more. Subscribe to my channel, please. And if you want to know when I've got stuff coming out, you can ring the notification bell or follow my Instagram and Twitter links below. I try to post around a day before a video is going to be out on those, so you'll be able to see it ahead of time instead of YouTube notifying you that I posted something. And with that, I'll see you next time. Have a good one.